3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome to Trees 3 here on Sports Tree Ltd. Folks, I'm Conor McGregor and we've got another great show lined up for you today. And it all starts with our Stump and Bump of the Week. And our Bump of the Week has to go to Sarah Thomas. If you watched the Bear Down Breakdown earlier this week, you would know that she is going to be the first ever woman to officiate a Super Bowl. And that is absolutely huge. And we love those kind of steps forward in our society here at Sports Tree Ltd. So Sarah Thomas, you get our Bump of the Week. As per our Stump of the Week, well, it has to go to Evander Kane. I'm not sure if you were watching any NHL action this week, but Evander Kane decided to use his hockey stick to hit goaltender on the Blues, Jordan Binnington, right between the legs. That's right, gentlemen, right where it hurts. Evander, one thing, don't use your stick for that. Thing number 2, stop calling out Jake Paul. Thing number 3, you're our Stump of the Week. But seriously, man, don't do that. That's literally called a cheap shot. You're such a stump. Coming in at number 3 this week on Trees 3, we are getting our first MLB action. It is MLB Free Agency, and there have been some massive moves already. George Springer has signed with the Blue Jays for a 6-year, $150 million contract. DJ LeMahieu decided to stay in New York, signing a 6-year, $90 million deal. Liam Hendricks is on his way from the A's to the White Sox. He signed a 3-year, $54 million deal. And James McCann is headed from the White Sox to the New York Mets on a 4-year, $40.6 million contract. There are still a lot of big fish in the MLB that have yet to ink a contract for next season. So make sure you keep your eyes on your favorite teams and watch who's coming and going. And then tune in on Monday for the Monday Morning Wrap, and we'll update you with the biggest signings of the weekend. Coming in at number 2 this week on Trees 3 is NFL football. It's the conference championships, and we're going to start this with the AFC between the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're going to have to take the Buffalo Bills in this one. And because of their defense got trounced this season by the run game, and they took on the Baltimore Ravens last week, the number 1 rushing team in the NFL, and kept them in check. Baltimore was averaging over 30 points per game over their last 5 games heading into that matchup, and Buffalo held them to just 3 points, and they held Lamar Jackson to just 34 rushing yards. The fact that they were able to make those adjustments and execute so perfectly is the reason why they're playing the Chiefs this week, and I think that's the reason why they'll book their ticket to the Super Bowl. Not to mention that Patrick Mahomes, he's still banged up, and Josh Allen, well, he's in fine form. As per the NFC title game, the Buccaneers head to Green Bay to take on the Packers. And like the AFC game, this is a rematch from Week 6. The Buccaneers, they slapped the Packers in Week 6, and Aaron Rodgers did not look good against the blitz in that game. He threw for just 3 for 12 against the blitz and threw 2 interceptions, the only time he's done that all season. Since that game to now, Aaron Rodgers has thrown 15 touchdowns to just 1 interception against the blitz, and the Green Bay Packers have allowed the second fewest sacks in the NFL. And that's why I like Rodgers to be able to execute and find his targets all day. I like this game to be a high-scoring game, but look for the Packers to squeak out on top. Number 1 this week on Trees 3, there is nothing like a McGregor show, baby. UFC 257, Poirier versus McGregor 2, going down on Saturday night. But we're going to start this all off with the co-main event. It's Michael Chandler taking on Dan Hooker. And Tom, I honestly don't know how Michael Chandler is still an underdog. Michael Chandler was a former champion in Bellator MMA. This is his first fight crossing over to the UFC. Another former UFC champion was Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez was also the Bellator champion before joining the UFC, and the guy that took his belt was Michael Chandler. Now, Michael Chandler takes on Dan Hooker. Who do you like in this one, Tom, and why?
I'm taking Chandler all day. I've been a Chandler fan since day one. His athleticism, his well-roundedness, his wrestling is his foundation. He's also got incredible striking, his stamina. By no means am I taking anything away from Hooker. He's an incredible athlete. He's an amazing striker. He's a zombie, man. He's so hard to put away. But at the same time, I think the difference in this fight is going to be Chandler's ability to wrestle and take it to the mat and dictate wherever he wants to go.
That's right, Tom. Dan Hooker is still the betting favorite, but we are both going to go with Michael Chandler here. I agree with Tom. Chandler's just too well-rounded compared to Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker is an excellent kickboxer. He comes from the same gym as Israel Adesanya, but the thing is, it's a well-rounded game that Michael Chandler presents, and I think that's what's going to be his key to victory. So we're taking Michael Chandler here on Sports Tree. Now, to get into this fight, Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor. Now, Conor McGregor absolutely starched Dustin Poirier when they were down at the featherweight division. Dustin Poirier does have the heart of a champion. He has zero striking defense. He just walks forward with his hands down, and you cannot do that against Conor McGregor. Dustin Poirier already said he wants to make this fight a brawl. Conor McGregor said he wants to outpoint him and outstrike him. Tom, how do you see this fight going?
That was a great analysis, and I do completely agree with you. I think Conor McGregor's going to take it. First of all, let's just talk about his reach. He's 5'9" and he's got a 74-inch reach, which is insane to me. I'm 6'2" with a 75-inch reach, so already right there, Conor McGregor is a freak of nature in his athleticism, his body type, everything. And not to mention, when you're fighting a guy like Conor McGregor, the magnitude of the fight and the pressure it takes to be able to go in there and actually compete against a guy like him with all these eyes on you, there's just this aura against McGregor. It's not only his natural ability to fight, but it's just his aura that people are so afraid of. But you know what? Dustin Poirier, he is an amazing fighter. He's a terrific striker. He's gotten so much better since their first outing. And so I think he's going to put up a much better fight in this second outing. But I do take Conor McGregor in this fight.
And that leads us to our MKF play of the day. We're going to have to take more on both of these men's significant strike lines. I do like Conor McGregor to win this by knockout yet again, but I don't think he'll be able to spark him in the first round. Look for him to starch him in the third or fourth. For our full list of UFC 257 picks, make sure you keep your eyes fixed on our social media, and we'll be dropping them one at a time all the way up till fight night. As for your trivia question this week, it is the return of the Mac. And in honor of that, what gym does Conor McGregor train out of? Here's a picture of Conor and I outside of his gym in Dublin. There's a clue for you, so good luck. Make sure you answer that question on our app, and you're in to win a pair of MLS or NBA tickets. Folks, I'm Conor Roundtree. Thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Trees 3. Cheers, you've made it to the weekend.
3, 2, 1.